Hello, everyone. I'm
Hello.
Allie King, and I am the Marketing and Programming Coordinator for Lake Agassiz Regional Library. I would like to thank you all for coming to this exciting program. Before the introduction for this evening's presentation, I'd like to share a couple upcoming events that may be of interest. Bruce Fingerson, a Minnesota photographer, will be showcasing his work at the Breckenridge, Ada, Detroit Lakes, and Moorhead libraries. For a list of dates, please visit laurel.org or call your local library. I would like to make a request, but please fill out the online evaluation that is available at laurel.org/legacy survey. There's also a link to that in the chat. Let us know what you think about this event so we can continue to host great programs like this in the future. This program is made possible thanks to funding from the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Legacy Fund. If you enjoyed what you experienced at your library this evening, please consider taking a moment to let your local legislator know that you support your library and the legacy programs that are being offered. And after the presentation today, there will be a Q&A session. So please post your questions in the Q&A section linked at the bottom of your screen. The chat is also available for any questions you may have for the event organizers throughout the program. And now I'd like to introduce our featured speaker tonight, Jessica Litman. Jessica is a Minnesota author and organizational expert known as the Organized Mama. She is recognized by People.com as an organizing and DIY expert. She has been encouraging families to not only embrace their homes, but also how to incorporate fun and easy organizational habits that any family member can do. Her work has been featured in Better Homes and Gardens, Apartment Therapy, Parents Magazine, Today.com, and The Spruce. Jessica's first book, Home Sweet Organized Home, is available at all major online retailers and available to check out from the Lake Agassiz Library. It is my pleasure to introduce Jessica Litman. Welcome, Jessica.
Hello, thank you so much. All right, let me see if I can get screen share so we can get this started. Let's see. There we go. Oops, where's my present? Present. Okay, there we go. Well, welcome. Tonight we're going to be talking all about Home Sweet Organized Home, redefining organizing for real life. There we go. I'm Jessica Litman. I teach and educate families on how to organize. I personally believe that families are really just multiple people living together in a house. So multiple people organization. I've been supporting families for over 10 years. I have a podcast called Organizing Tune-Ups where you can get big organizing concepts broken down into small bite-sized chunks you can do every day for 5 to 15 minutes. On YouTube, School of Organizing, where you can watch all sorts of organizing tutorials. And my kiddos created a YouTube channel called The Organized Kids, where they teach practical real life organizing skills to kids. Also, the book Home Sweet Organized Home, which I personally am so proud of. Inside its checklist. So if you do check it out at your library, copy the checklist pages so you don't write all over your library book. But in the book, in the back, because I was a former teacher, I am all about checklists. So I have a ton of checklists inside the book. So copy them and then return library book to use again. So tonight we are going to be getting really clear. I'm going to move that over there. We're going to be getting really clear on why you want to organize. We're going to do room by room organizing hacks and what you can do to actually keep things organized in your home. We're going to do all of those things. So get ready and let's dive in. So before we even start by talking room by room organizing, we have to get really clear on what does organized mean to you. This kind of sounds crazy and it's kind of a weird philosophy to start with because most people just want to get rid of stuff. But if we start by just getting rid of stuff, we aren't getting to the root of what we actually want to accomplish. Let's say you go to your hairdresser. You go to your hairdresser and you say, I want my hair about this length, right? You have an end goal in mind. You have to do the same thing with organizing. What do you want your house to be or feel like? Not everybody has the same idea of organizing, and that's okay. But the goal is to get a clear idea on what organized means in your home. Do you want no cluttering corners? Are you looking for everything perfectly labeled? Are you looking for people able to find things? Are you looking for less stuff? Whatever that is, that's your version of organized, and that's going to be your end goal. So we always have to start with that. We can't jump anywhere until we know this is where we are going to end up. So we start with our why, because everyone has different reasons for wanting to get organized. So we have to figure that out before we can even start. Write it down so you have a clear idea of like what the end goal is, so you don't forget it. Sometimes when we are really entrenched in a big organizing project, we might forget what the end is supposed to look like, and we kind of get tunnel vision. So instead, let's get really clear on what organized is, and then write it down. Or you might actually have an area of your home, a room, a drawer, a corner, something in your home that you're like, this is what I want my entire house to be like. So that one space could be what you aspire to have for everything. Figure out why, what makes that space feel good. I do virtual organizing where we chat over Zoom about some organizing projects you want to do. And I had a client once who showed me this little corner in her living space. And with that, she was like, I just love this corner. It just feels clean. It feels light. It feels just tidy. And this is what I want my whole house to feel like. So using those words and then visually seeing, she didn't have a lot of stuff on shelves. There wasn't anything on the ground. It was very minimal. So her end goal is just to have less stuff. And that was her definition of organized. So get really clear on that. Another piece we have to touch on before we can even dive into organizing is mental clutter. This is the overstimulation that goes on in your brain, all the thoughts, all the things, all the decisions that you have to make. So there has been a study, and it's estimated roughly 35,000 decisions. I had to write it down because I would have forgotten that. 35,000 decisions in one day, everyone makes, like on average. Some people make more, some people make less, but roughly 35,000 decisions a day. Doing more could lead to decision fatigue, and that's just when mentally you can't take anymore. Typically, this happens around dinner time, because when you're like, what do you want for dinner? And your mind goes blank, and you're like, I don't know. That is decision fatigue. You cannot make another decision. And it is normal when we don't have some routines or habits in place. So creating routines or habits or rhythms, all of these things throughout your day reduce the things that you have to think about. So creating those habits is going to be very helpful, especially on days that you are going to be organizing or decluttering. You want to think all of that stuff through the day before. What am I going to wear? What am I going to eat? What am I going to use to clean up? All of those things should be thought of beforehand. So when you are actually decluttering and organizing a space, you don't have to think about those little tasks. You can think about the big things and make better decisions that way. Doing a brain dump, that's when you write down everything that's going on in your mind. I try and do one at least once a week. It's recently, I feel like January, a lot of things come up. So I've been doing it more frequently. I really recommend 5 to 10 minutes just writing down all the things in your brain. And paper pencil is going to be the best. All the brain research shows paper pencil is your friend. Your brain actually processes it differently than typing. Set timers on your phone to reduce the screen time, because all of that clutter or all of that visual stuff that's coming in is going to overload your brain. And especially on social media, jumping from one topic to another within seconds is going to create some mental clutter in your brain because your brain does not know how to process all these things. Get more sleep, really important. Sleep helps just reset and recharge. And then block your day. Really, time blocking is huge, and it is very helpful for some people. If that sounds like you, do a quick Google search, time blocking, and there's tons of resources on ways in which you can kind of block out your day based on times throughout your day so that you can be productive and then have a break. Do another thing, have a break, and how to structure your day like that. We are going to jump right in now to the area that you should start with first. And it is the most surprising to people. Whenever I give this chat, everyone is always surprised that I say you have to start in the bedroom, have to start cleaning out your space. It is not what anyone other than like your family sees, but it is probably the most crucial place to start in your home. Start where you sleep. When your bedroom is tidy, it's organized, it has like fewer visual distractions, less clutter, all of those things, you're able to go into REM sleep quicker. You get a better night's sleep. And by getting a better night's sleep, you clear a lot of that mental clutter. So you're just going to be able to organize better when your bedroom is organized. Get rid of things that do not serve you in your bedroom. Remove them all from your bedroom. If you do have like an office or a desk space or something in your bedroom, tidy that up, like create a routine for end of work day. Clean up your desk, close your computer, make sure your desk space is tidy, pick up things off the floor, and really start by creating a Zen place for you in your bedroom. Start there. So make your bed every day. This one is huge. Make your bed. It will set the tone for the rest of your bedroom. Pick things up off the floor, remove any work papers, all the things that don't belong, hang up or put away your clothes. Don't let anything kind of like sit on the floor. And a really big thing that I like to talk about are those in between clothes. You know, like you come home from work and you put on like sweats, but like you don't sleep in them and they're not like super dirty because you wore them for just like dinner, but you don't want to put them away, but they're not dirty. So where do they go? Creating a space for them. I've seen people throw them on chairs. I say fold them on the chair, and then it like visually your mind can rest and be more at ease because you closed up everything and you made the chair look tidy. Or use like an extra laundry basket for those in-between clothes. They are contained to an area. They have a designated spot. They're not sitting on the ground. And then that way you have a spot for those in-between clothes that you might not want to fold or put away. But give them a space, give them a spot in your bedroom or your closet, wherever that might be. And then have 2 separate laundry baskets. Have one for dirty clothes and one for clean clothes. Here's the reason. If you are anything like anyone in my family, clean clothes that come out of laundry don't always get put away right away, but you have dirty clothes that you have. So having 2 separate laundry baskets will reduce the amount of cross-contamination of the clothes, if you will. So you have a specific laundry basket for all the clean clothes, but yet the dirty clothes can still go in a different laundry basket so that you're able to swap out kind of like where everything goes. Nothing's on the floor, nothing's getting confused, and it'll keep your bedroom tidy. So the next space that I recommend hitting up, going to organizing, is the kitchen. Because the kitchen is the heart of the home, you really want to focus on streamlining everything in your kitchen. Remove all the things you don't use daily or weekly. And this depends on the size of your kitchen. I'll be totally honest. I have virtually worked with people that have very large kitchens, and I've worked with people that have very small kitchens. So depending on the size, really try and keep the stuff in your kitchen to a minimum. Seasonal items can be stored with like your seasonal decor. Some seasonal items that we have in our home right now. We just recently did this. Actually, I'm a little behind on some of the things, but our Minnesota winter has not really hit until now. So we've still been grilling a little bit, which we typically do a lot more in the summer and fall. And then once winter hits, we do more baking. So we kind of swap out the veggie tray, like the veggie baskets we use, or all of the grilling supplies. All of that gets flip-flopped with our baking dishes. And I keep those high. We have tall cabinets in our kitchen. And so on the top shelves of our cabinets are where I put the off-season stuff. I can still access it, I can still get it, but I swap it out based on where and how and when I need it. So when it comes to organizing your kitchen, I have two methods that I recommend using in order to organize, because sometimes kitchen stuff can be really overwhelming. So either there is the remove everything at once method, which is remove everything all at once, or there is the drawer by drawer method. The drawer by drawer method is where you start with one drawer or one cabinet. You pull out the stuff just in that one cabinet or drawer. You sort through and only put back the stuff that belongs in that drawer or cabinet. And then the rest of the stuff can stay out, because then you can move on to the next drawer or cabinet. And you continue to do this. You do have to keep inventory of your stuff when you do this, so you don't have like 2 cabinets full of baking dishes. So instead of that, what we can do is, keep Post-it notes on there, or an inventory tracker that you can use to kind of keep both of those options sorted out. Now, also, this one is my controversial topic. Don't have a junk drawer in your kitchen. I know this one really gets people upset when I say this, but here is the rationale. If you are limited on space in your kitchen, why are you going to allow yourself to have an entire drawer, typically a big one, be full of indecisions? Because that's what a junk drawer is. Now, if you give that drawer a purpose, well, this is all my stationery, this is all my office supplies, these are all tools, then you gave that drawer a specific purpose in your kitchen. So it's no longer junk, it is now serving a purpose. And when you actually remove the things that don't fit with that category, you'll find you don't need as large of a drawer. I had, back when I first started my business, I did in-home organizing. I had a client, it was her largest drawer in the kitchen was her junk drawer. And she was complaining she had no space for silverware. She had no space for knives, or she had twins at the time. She had no space for any of her stuff. We removed the junk drawer. She had this large drawer. We divided up, fit so much stuff, fit her knives in there, and spoons and forks of the silverware. All of that fit inside the one drawer that was just used as her junk drawer. When we removed that, she realized, oh, I have way more space in my kitchen, because she wasn't utilizing it well. She felt that she needed to have a junk drawer because that's what she grew up with, but that doesn't mean you need it. So my controversial topic is don't have a junk drawer, give it a purpose. And then you'll actually see you can probably get a smaller drawer size or find a different spot for it in your home. Next up is shared spaces. Shared spaces are basically everything you share with your family. This could be living room, basement, dining room, if you have like a loft space, if you have just anywhere that's shared by everyone, used by everyone. Some can say that it is also the kitchen. I personally feel like kitchen organizing is a little different way. I have it separated. For some of these shared spaces, the biggest piece with the shared spaces is you want to create routines or habits with your family that everyone can do. And by doing that, just small actions and setting up some rules for those spaces are going to make a huge difference in that area. One virtual client we were working with, the clickers in the family room were just getting out of control. Like nobody could ever find them. It was always like a fight, like somebody stuck it under like the cushion, and like the game, like there were video games were all in there too. So we just had a basket for all of the remotes and stuff. She wanted a lid because she wanted it to look all nice and fancy and everything. The lid wasn't working because nothing was making their way in there. So we just removed the entire tray or the entire bin and just used a tray instead. All of the things go in that one tray, and everything always made it in there when she made that one rule. When you're done, the clicker and games and all the things go in the tray. And when the kids started to see this, oh, well, that just is so much easier. Then they started to do it. And then everything was like really easy for her to keep up and maintain because of that one rule. So in shared spaces, really start by like making rules, setting some expectations for what and how you want that room to kind of like stay organized. And then also, while you're doing this, if you have pictures, hang them up. If you have things that are on display, make sure you can see all of the things on your shelves. Don't over clutter your shelves, because then you're going to create some visual clutter, and then not everyone might feel at ease in that space. So things might not end up where they're supposed to because of that feeling of unease in that space. Excuse me. Home office spaces. Okay, home office spaces can look so different to so many people. So for home office spaces, my biggest recommendation and hack to organizing them is to create zones for your space. So look at how you use your office space. I know for us in my office right now, my kids have desks over along one wall. I have my desk, and then I also have stuff for like my YouTube and podcast. So that's over in the corner. So I've zoned off my office. It's not that big, but I've zoned off my office into like school for the kids, podcast stuff, and then my desk. In all of those sections, I'm able to only keep the stuff that fits in that zone that I need, and then everything else goes elsewhere. And so it's not in that space that I need. So really creating the specific zones that you might need in your home. Now, my husband's office space, he has more space and he has a closet in his office area. So for him, we created a paper station on like a big countertop that he has in his office space. So all of the papers go up in his office. They don't live in mine because I don't have the space, but we have the space in that area. So he has file boxes where we keep all of the stuff, and filing cabinets. Excuse me. So in your home office, you want to give everything a specific zone or a spot. Don't let things pile up. That's like how you create systems. That's really how you are able to kind of like sort through all the things, is by giving everything a specific zone or area. And then using some of the organizing tools, bins, drawer organizers, any sort of organizational tool can help you create those zones within your office space area. And then bathrooms. This one always makes people chuckle because I say, give your bathroom a purpose. And everyone is always like, but what's the point of giving a bathroom a purpose? So the reason why I say give your bathroom a purpose is so that you know where to store your things. One thing is, for us, we have a powder room. It is so small, and it's just like when we have guests over, it's not a get ready bathroom. I don't store any like products or anything in there. I can't store extra soaps in there. There's no space for it. So we have an extra roll of toilet paper and then some feminine hygiene products, and that's it. And so for that purpose, it is for guests. So I want to keep the space as clean as possible, but I still want to have some things accessible. If I need a bathroom, if like my main bathroom that I get ready in, that's where I store all of my hair care products and all of those things. So they aren't spread out all over the house. They have a designated spot, and it just so happens to be in the bathroom. And to keep the bathroom organized, really only keep the items that you use in that bathroom, which is why I say give the bathroom a purpose. Line shelves to kind of keep things tidy and organized, and also like line things up like you would find at Target or Walmart. Everything is lined up really nicely, so you can do that too in your home. It's going to help get things and keep things organized. Also, a rule of thumb is to keep 2 sets of towels per person in the house. Also, if you have a guest room, for about an extra set of towels per guest that could possibly stay in your house. Keep about 2 beach towels per person. And this is just a rule of thumb. It isn't like you can only keep 2 beach towels, because what if you had a pool? Well, that would totally change the situation on beach towels. What if you only were able to do laundry once a month? That would change how many sets of towels you should have in your home based on how frequently you are able to do laundry. So this is just kind of like a baseline, roughly. And then you go about it. How frequently are you able to do laundry? How frequently you have guests? And really look at it that way. But I personally like having some baseline numbers, and then I can fluctuate what I think is necessary for our family, because everyone runs things differently. Kid stuff, we're going to touch on this really quick. I know we're kind of pushing our 30 minutes here, so want to get to kid stuff. With kids, really start teaching them young, get them involved in the organizing process as soon as possible. Teach your young kids how to fold. My 2-year-old was folding her clothes, putting them in the drawer. She was not taking things out of the drawer because she was the one putting the stuff in. So there was no need to take things out because she already knew. And really teach your kids how to do all of these tasks. As they get older, they should be responsible for laundry. They can be responsible for, keeping the kitchen organized, unloading the dishwasher. All of those things together can really help and benefit your kiddos as they get older, and really give them this life skill of organizing. Oops, there we go. Papers, I want you to go digital as much as possible. The one piece I'm going to say is your manuals for your appliances and everything. This is what I want you to do. If it's a newer appliance, I want you to search online. I want you to find that appliance manual, and I want you to download it. Here we go. And I want you to download it and save it to your e-reader. This way, in your e-reader, you can now search if something happens to an appliance. You can search in your e-reader instead of flipping through all of the pages of the manual. It's going to make fixing the problem so much faster, and you don't have to store all the manuals. It's on your phone or on your computer, however you want to do it. Now, some documents you want to keep hard copies in a fire-safe container. Contracts, tax documents, social security cards, deeds, appraisals, military, all those important documents, you need the hard copy. And so make sure that they are filed appropriately. Holiday decor, the one piece I'm going to say on this is declutter after the holiday is over. You're going to want to get rid of all of the holiday items that you didn't use, because if they weren't out, why are you keeping them? So get rid of them, and then take inventory of the things you didn't use so you don't rebuy them the following year. Cherished items, I have an entire chapter on this in Home Sweet Organized Home. So I'm not going to go super in depth on this, but I do want to say with cherished items, sometimes it might be cherished or sentimental to you, but not to somebody else, and that is okay. It's never okay for anyone to tell you, or it's never okay to diminish somebody else's sentimental items. So it's not always easy when you have somebody who is sentimental in your house and wants to keep all of the things, it is not my job to declutter their stuff. It's their job. So sometimes it takes a little bit, and that's okay. Use your body language to figure out if something is actually a sentimental item or if it was a sentimental item in that moment. Your body will tell you a lot about that. And then keep a memory box for each family member, and then keep those sentimental items in that one box. When the box starts to get too full, then that family member can go through and they can decide what stays in that box and what doesn't. If something is sentimental to you but not to them, you can have your own box. I have my own box for my kids of their stuff that isn't sentimental to them but is to me. Like, my son could care less about the outfit he came home from the hospital in, but I care. So that's in my box for him. And I want you to take action. I want you just to start small. Do something for 5 to 10 minutes to kind of like reduce the clutter, reduce the overwhelm in your house, and you will see magical things happen. Just small things can lead up to big action in your house. And so, yes, thank you so much. And I do see we have a question. If you do have questions, pop them into the Q&A or the chat. So let's see. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's see. Let me do this again. Open questions. Okay. First question, do you have any preferred retailers or brands of organizing products? Okay. For me, I recommend doing the declutter first and then finding products that will support what you're doing. There are 3 different ways to look at products. There are people that do like bin first. So they buy all the bins, they measure, they buy all the bins, they put them in, and then they put the stuff in. There are people that will organize all the stuff and then find bins or dividers or whatever to go in. I'm kind of in that camp. And then you have the third group, which is no bins whatsoever because we want to be a minimalist. So you have to decide which one you want to go to. I personally think that the best and quickest way to get like that win in and to get that yourself organized is to declutter, only put the stuff in that you actually use, and then see if you need any organizing products. I love Target. I love Walmart. I will splurge and go to Container Store. I love Amazon. Not Amazon, Home Depot and Lowe's have amazing organizing products in their organizing aisle. So don't rule, and Menards, don't rule out your home stores either. Okay, the next question is, what is an e-reader? An e-reader is like iBooks, your Kindle, any sort of electronic reading device, like where you would read an electric book. That's what e-reader stands for. Next question, I am pretty organized, but how do I help someone who is not? For instance, all the stuff that builds up on the dresser top, engulfed. I know that one. What can I do to help that person get started? First thing I would do is I would start by asking a question with them. Like, does this bother you? And also, if it does bother you, then I would start with that. So this space is too cluttered for me. What can we do to create a like less distracting thing? One easy thing is to start with like a tray. Like, in this tray is where all the golf tees and the coins and the receipts and all the things go. So start there and then slowly, go to the next avenue area for them within the bedroom. So now your nightstand. Okay, let's see, do we need this? Do we need that? Then just going slow with that kind of component. Also, I'm not even kidding because so my husband has not read my book, but inside my book, I have a bunch of, they're like little checklists. He's read all of these. And this, just having him read this, he's like, oh, I can do that. I can do that. So he's not actually reading my book. And this is not just like a plug for that. I have a few other friends who have written books also that have these little like expert tips, just kind of showing him those little things and making small incremental changes is really going to help a lot get somebody who isn't totally organized more organized for you. And also you as the organized person kind of like meet them in the middle too. Um, do you have a favorite organizing tool or advice for very small spaces, especially laundry rooms? I say go vertical as high as you possibly can. Because when you don't have a lot of space, but you might have height, because I've seen a lot of height in small spaces, use that height to your advantage. Move around shelf cabinets, move or like the shelves in the cabinets. Those are the words I'm looking for. Move those around. Any sort of, stackable product that you can access is going to be your best friend in those small spaces. And also having a spot for like overflow or extra. Only keeping the stuff that is necessary for you daily or weekly. And then after that, refill, like do a weekly reset, and then just kind of set the space up a little different, or like refill all the things that will help in smaller spaces. I know it's like an extra step you have to do, but sometimes in those smaller spaces, in the end, it does save you a lot of space when you do a weekly reset. Next question, have you heard of Archive? Yes, I have. If so, what are your thoughts on their products? It's for cherished items. I have worked with Archives. I have one book from them. I'm going to be totally honest. The quality is very nice. I think you can get the same thing for half of the price from a lot of these other services. Archive really looks at taking pictures of your kids' artwork or sentimental things, and then they turn it into a book. The one piece that they do, you send in all of the artwork and then they take the pictures. If time is limited for you, that could be a very good investment for you. If time is not as high a priority, then you taking pictures on your phone and turning them into books can also be another option. Apple Books, I use chapbooks. There are mix books. Costco has books. Basically everywhere that you can print off pictures, you can create photo books. Sometimes you might have to take the pictures. So if you're taking the pictures yourself, go by a window. Okay, in the middle of the day, go by a window when it can be cloudy, but like not at night. When you get some natural light, get a piece of tag board, just like white tag board, lay the picture, take it, and then save it on your phone. So it's easier to so it's just easier to get all of them uploaded to a book program. But that's my thought on that, like just honest review. Some people, it's totally worth it. I didn't find it was worth it for me. Next, I think this is a state. I like this, Jimmy. Putting the soap directly over the washer is best. Just pour a little in from the spout and then close the lid. That is a great hack, I think, if it works for your setup. If you have a stackable washer dryer, it might not work. But that is a great hack if you're able to make that work. Another question, if I get rid of the junk drawer in my kitchen, I wonder where I should store stuff like tape, pen, scissors, lighters. I never feel like those are in the right place. That is a great question. What I would suggest with those things, if you need tape, pen, scissors, lighters, find a smaller drawer and then you add like post-it notes to that, and that's kind of like your stationery or your office supply drawer, and then it has a designated spot, but you aren't taking up one of your bigger drawers. Or if those are the only things that are necessary, you could get a desktop organizer, for that holds the pens, and then the lighters could also go in one of the pen holders, scissors, and then keep that in a little corner in your kitchen as well, so that it's not taking up a drawer, but you still have access to it and it's still smaller, but it's still there for you instead of the drawer. All right. Do we have any more questions? Here, I'm going to stop the screen share in case. Oh, there we go. We got another question. Do you have any tips for rooms that serve two purposes, a guest room that's also an office? I love this question. I've seen this so frequently. So my suggestion for the dual purpose rooms, zone them off. So just like we did in the office space, give it like a zone. So you have your office zone and then you have your guest room zone. Sometimes the guest room zone might be pushed against a wall, totally fine. Sometimes, if we lived in Chicago for a little bit. When we lived in Chicago, we had a Murphy bed. So when that Murphy bed was up, things were like totally in front of the Murphy bed because the room didn't have that much space. So like that was guest room stuff was all pushed to one side so we could have an office space on that one side that fit two people. It was tiny, but it worked. So zone things off for that. And then when guests come, then maybe the office space has to just kind of scooch to the side a little bit. The configuration always, it doesn't have to be, Instagram worthy, but it needs to be functional. And so for you, zoning will be your best friend. There is something in the chat. Okay, do you have any tips on going through old photos? Great question. Photos are so tough. Okay, so for photos, there are two things that we can do. I'm going to say we'll start with like the physical photos, like the hard copies. So when going through old photos, I personally go through like keep, don't keep, and then just put them in two piles. If you are very sentimental, if you're very attached to some of these old photos, it might benefit you to kind of like start to categorize them, because then it'll change the mindset that you go into with the physical photos. So what I mean by that is start dating them or creating like years. Like this was around, 1992. This was around this date, so that you don't get sucked into the sentimental piece of the old photos. That happens frequently. So removing that and trying to figure out the date of that photo versus like the memory of that photo is going to help you move through the photos quickly. Put them in photo albums. I am a big believer in digitizing your photos. I have seen way too many of my family photos be destroyed, yellowed around the edges because of some of the old photo albums. So I would recommend finding somebody that digitizes photos for you once you kind of sort through them. Then your digital photos, create folders. I love creating folders. I have an iPhone, so I create folders in my iPhone. And as soon as I take the picture, or like at the end of the day, I'll go through and just kind of get rid of pictures I don't like, or just from the day. I don't sit and sort through them all. And then set a timer for about 5 to 10 minutes every day to kind of clear out old photos as well, to kind of keep moving through the photos, because a lot of us have a lot of digital photos and sorting through it can seem overwhelming. But if you give yourself a designated time, I'm going to spend 5 minutes going through photos, delete whatever is not necessary, and then I'm done for the day, is going to be the best way to kind of manage the digital photos. Next question. I have a craft room that is out of control. How do I establish zones and storage for different crafts? Love this. With crafts, I'm big on grouping them in one of two ways. Either how you use them. So like all knitting supplies go together, all sewing supplies go together, all craft. Or you can organize everything by color. And I think it all depends on how you craft. One of my dear friends is a very big crafter. She color coded everything because when she is creating something, it doesn't matter what supply it is, she just needs it for that color. Whereas other people want their crafts organized by the craft. So start grouping the crafting supplies together. Just start with that. Get like, just use any like Amazon or like diaper box or something that you might have around the house, like a box, just to kind of like group the things together. So you get, so they're contained. And then you can start sorting through and seeing if you need to like also subcategorize under there. Typically with like the scrapbook, the Cricut, the card making, stamps, all of those kind of go together. So you can subcategorize under like big crafting into like, okay, all of my stamps here, all my stamp pads here, and then creating different areas for that. I love carts. I am a big crafter with my carts. So I personally love like the stackable types of things that can go on a cart. Are there any other questions or anything? Any other, you want clarification on something? I can go more into cherished items too if you want, because he really didn't get a chance to really dive deep into that one. If you would like, please let me know. Thank you. Okay, we will, perfect. Okay, we will talk more about cherished items and how do you arrange furniture in a funny shaped room. Oh, the furniture. Okay. Um, I will say, the best thing to do with furniture in a funny shaped room, look at the flow. I've learned this from some of my interior designer friends. One, look at the flow of the room. Where do you walk back and forth? Um, and then kind of create a living space around that um, kind of flow. It's this one is hard. This one I kind of do need to draw out. Email me. I will send you the name of a designer friend. It's Jessica at beorganizedmama.com. Just say you were at this presentation. I'm happy to share, any recommendations or anything to about the shape of the room. This one I do have to draw out and I will be talking too much with my hands. So I'm going to jump back to cherished items, but please email me about that. Okay, let's go. Can I go back? There we go. Okay, cherished items. We'll dive a little deeper into this one. Okay, the body language with your cherished items, I think is going to be the key because some things in regards to cherished items were cherished in that moment. And it is okay for them to not be a cherished item anymore. Some of those items, I'm just going to use like my kids' stuff as an example. Okay, in this picture, there is a purple pillowcase cover. It was embroidered. It was like my daughter's first like pillow. It was gifted to us. It was really sweet, really cute. In there, I also had the like the pillow, and it took up a lot of space in her bin. Well, we moved. She is now 10. And that was from when she was like 1. Holding that, like it didn't really do anything. She could care less about it. She didn't want it in her bin anymore. Um, I was like, oh, well, this was important at one time, but it's not anymore. And so it is okay for something to have been a cherished item at one point and no longer is that. So that's why looking at your body language when you are holding something, you'll be able to tell, is this actually cherished or am I overthinking it? And then also a lot of cherished items like hand-me-down, china, serving platters, all of that kind of stuff. Ask yourself why it's not on display. Why aren't you using it? Why is it stored in a bin in the basement where it's like dark and dirty and gross? Why is it not up in the light? That also changes our perspective on how we really focus on like these cherished items, these sentimental items. I had a virtual client who had it was great grandma's Christmas china. They were beautiful, but she kept them in the basement. She was too scared to use them. And ended up, we were organizing virtually, and she opened up the bag. She hadn't opened it up in a couple of years, opened up the bag, and all of the china was broken. It was heartbreaking. But if you aren't using those cherished items, then you aren't going to know if something happens to them. So we want the goal to really be, you want to use those items. If they are so cherished, use them. Also to like store some of these cherished items with your holiday decor. So I think it was her grandma's china, then she stored with all of her Christmas decorations. She was able to bring it out every Christmas since then. And then she was able to use that china because when she would take out and decorate the tree, she was able to use the china as well. So keeping some of those cherished items, if they are holiday specific, then to store them with the holiday decor that you have. I think we got, there we go. Okay, yes. And don't forget to take the survey. Also, it is in the chat. We would love your feedback. That'd be great. Also, some other things to do with cherished items that you might not need to feel or hold on to, but you want the memory of, is to turn them into scrapbooks. I love this story so much. I had an in-home client. She had all of these, like, I mean, it was everything from the holidays, the like ornaments and all this family heirloom stuff. She didn't want it in her house. She didn't have the room for it. So she hired a photographer to take and style pictures of all of these like specialty ornaments and plates and everything. She had family members like write little little note cards about it, stuck them all in scrapbooks for everyone in her family. And then now every Christmas she puts out this like book that's just, it's beautiful, but she doesn't have any of the ornaments. Some of them were like broken anyways, and she's like, I wasn't using them, but she created this gorgeous book with these memories inside that is just lovely. And that is an easy way for you to figure out if you actually need to physically hold the cherished item. Because that's one of the questions, like, do I need to physically hold this item to appreciate it? It's a great question to ask yourself, because sometimes you don't need to hold the item, you just need to see the item. And so you can create scrapbooks, quilts, collages, picture books of that item instead of holding on to the physical thing itself. Because the most important thing is the memory, and that's what you want to cherish. So finding some creative ways in which you can turn that physical item into something much more meaningful, to me, is easily going to be passed down through your family, and people will be able to enjoy it versus a box of stuff that's going to sit in a basement. Any other questions or clarification on anything? Here, I can stop the share.
Well, that looks like we're about to the end of our time here. I just want to thank Jessica again for putting on this awesome presentation.
Thank you so much for having me. And again, if anyone has any questions, you are more than welcome. Email, jessica@theorganizedmama.com. I'm happy to answer. Say you were at this presentation, and I will gladly answer any other questions you may have.
That's awesome. And if any of you want to watch this presentation over again or have a friend who might benefit from it but missed it tonight, the recording will be available at laurel.org/organization. And I can put that in the chat for y'all too. All right. Well, I think that's the end of our time, and so I'm going to close this out, but thank you again, Jessica.
Thank you so much. Thank you all. Great. Thank you.